Um, first and foremost, congratulations. Senior year is almost over. Your children are, nearing the finish line of their high school careers. It's very exciting time, I think, for families. It's very exciting for us as well. With us tonight, we have Gail Arifache, who works in the main office. It has a lot of the logistics kind of information for graduation. We have Dr. Payne with us. She really is in charge of how the graduation ceremony proceeds, and graduation practices and things like that to make sure we are a well-oiled machine. And we also have Liz Palermo, who is one of the class advisors. So she's here to be able to answer other questions as well that may arise. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and just share this, like a document we have shared with you before about the end of the year senior week stuff, and requirements and all that kind of stuff. So if I go to, there we go. All right, we should be able to see, everybody should be able to see my screen now. It has a class of 2025 senior week activities. We've shared this with everybody. We can share it again. It's kind of a live document, so there's things that we've added, changed to it, especially as we've changed our graduation plans, as that's become fluid. Along those lines, graduation right now is slated to be outdoors on the baseball field. We've got a lot of logistic things that are still going on with that because we don't have, it's a baseball outfield. So we're in the process of getting bleachers. So renting bleachers so people can have a nice, comfortable place to sit and view the graduation. There's that piece. We were talking with our sound and video technicians because it's a different setup. We don't necessarily have the same things we would have in the turf or in the pack. So we're working with them to make sure that we can live stream the graduation and record the graduation and have the sound for the graduation. Mike Cirilli, who has worked on Broadway, worked in networks, is an award-winning sound engineer. So he's here and works with our school on a bunch of different things. So he's going to be working to make sure that we have a legitimate sound system that's there. So a lot of things that are going into play when it comes to the actual graduation and what we need, which is different than what we would see if we were on the turf or in the pack. One of the things that we want to make sure everybody's aware of, if it rains the day before, it's very possible that the outfield of the baseball field is mud. There might be other things that cause us to move indoors. If the weather is not just about rain that day, if there's rain for several days before it, or if it just doesn't dry out, we're not going to be able to put chairs and seating and things like that out there on the turf. So we want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. In a situation like that, we'd still be moving indoors to the pack. And we're already planning for what happens after graduation so that there is a solid plan for the exit and opportunities for parents, families, friends to take pictures and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of different things that we're working on to make sure that we are giving the best opportunity for graduation for our seniors, and that it's a memorable day for everybody. So a couple of things that we want to note. The last day of classes for seniors is Monday, June 9th. It's a 9-period day. On Tuesday, June 10th, we start our senior week, and that begins with different presentations. All the things during senior week, all the events that we have are mandatory. All students need to show up. We have QR codes that will be out there for attendance purposes. If somebody's not there, we are calling home. We're trying to find out where they are to make sure that they can be there. So I'll say it again. All senior week activities are mandatory. Now I say that, but generally speaking, most of the seniors want to be involved in these different events. It's the end of their school year, and they really look forward to, having a good way to celebrate everything at the end of the year with their friends. So if you look Tuesday, April 29th, that's I'm sorry, that's today, parent information meeting. Wednesday, June 4th is our senior awards. Thursday, June 5th is the IB banquet, the last day of classes. And then Tuesday, we have the JC Good presentation. This has a lot to do with distracted driving. It's an incredible presentation. I've been able to see it a couple years in a row now. But it's very meaningful, and we're trying to send the right message to students, especially during this prom season, graduation season, and all the things that could be happening. Wednesday, June 11th is actually a Regents Day, so there's no classes, there's no obligation for any of the seniors. Thursday, June 12th, we have a light breakfast. This is the day of the prom, and so we invite the students in, and we do what we call prom safety presentations, again, about making the right decisions as they head into their prom night and into their, senior graduation season. So a really good message. We actually have the Putnam County Prevention Council comes over. There'll be a judge that will be there that will speak to the kids. We'll have law enforcement there that's speaking to the students. And we do a Narcan presentation and where they hand out Narcan kits to all of the seniors. Something that Putnam County has been very proactive in trying to make sure that they're getting these kits into the hands of a lot of different people, especially these students going off to college or other things, that they'll have these Narcan kits with them. It's an unfortunate, situation in our society these days, but it's one that we can easily be prepared for, and we can help prepare our seniors for that. So they get a Narcan training. We do this early in the morning, 8 o'clock, so that we can get them out of the high school early, because we know that is the day that, people are going to get their hair done, makeup, all this kind of stuff, so that they're ready for the prom at 3:30. Liz Palermo, you're here. Is there anything you want to say about the prom at this point to the parents?
No, not right now. Unless anyone has any questions so far.
So I think, right, all the prom tickets are being purchased and everything. That's happening already?
Yeah, we have. Yep. Sorry, my daughter's trying to come outside. We have about 90 students who have either completely paid or have begun paying so far. So we have about 50 students left who have yet to put down a deposit or pay. In the next 2 weeks, 1.5, 2 weeks, we really want to start opening up more guest spots. We save spots for every senior and then counted out how many remaining seats we had on the coach buses for guests. So by the next week and a half, we expect to know who is actually going to prom from the senior class. And then from there, we'll be able to accept more guests. So that's all I have to say. Just hurry to get the money in so that we can guarantee your senior spot.
I think that's really important. And I got to say, having been to a bunch of proms, it's a really nice event, especially like with all the parents. It's a community event at 3:30. If anybody's ever been involved in it, it's really, really special. Everybody's showing up at the high school. It's almost like a red carpet affair with, everybody dressed up and, parents there, all these pictures and things that are happening. And then what we do is we, bring all the students into the high school. So everybody knows, the students are not allowed to bring any of their own outside water bottles, drinks, anything like that. Unfortunately, in the past, some students have made poor decisions as far as what they want to bring with them to the prom, and it will result in a phone call home and the student being picked up, and it will jeopardize what happens next at graduation and things like that, because they're breaking school rules. So just make sure that you're clear as far as no bottles, no personal water bottles, things like that. If somebody has a need, we can always provide, or we have water bottles that we can provide for students ourselves, so we know that where they come from.
And we need to make that check line move as quickly as possible, because even though we say you need to be at the school by 3:30, everybody, like Mr. Mello said, is going to want to take pictures outside, find their friends. So once we actually get to push them through that check line and get them on the bus, we're going to just hit the road because we want to get there on time. So yeah, the less things we have to check, the faster that line will move.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, I assume the bus is leaving somewhere around 4:30, right? Is that
Yeah, we want to have people on the bus by 4:15 is the goal, but leave the high school by 4:30.
so? It says arrive at 3:30. You can certainly arrive earlier than 3:30 if you'd like. To be able to take advantage of some of those photo opportunities that happen there. And then the next morning is a senior brunch. It's at the town park. This is the part that we really look for the parents to organize. So I know that we have some parents that have had other children graduate from Putnam Valley. This is where we're looking for a senior parent, a couple of senior parents to organize the senior parents. And it's really the senior parents that put on the senior brunch. Basically what we've done is reserved the pavilion at the town park. That's all set up already. We have a way for students that don't have transportation to be able to come to the high school in the morning, and then we can transport those students to the town park. But all the seniors are allowed to drive directly to the town park to be there at 10 o'clock. So that's the next day after prom. We don't have it first thing in the morning. We have like a brunch to give them a little bit of time to sleep in, so that they can then go and participate in the senior brunch, which again is mandatory. And I think they want to be there because that's when the yearbooks are handed out. We give the yearbooks out to the seniors first, and then I think on Monday we distribute the yearbooks to the rest of the school. So it's a chance for them to get their yearbooks first. And they're more than welcome, to stay at the town park as long as they want to. We have set from 10 to 12, but we don't want them going back to the high school because it creates a little bit of a disruption at the high school. They will be able to come back to the high school on Monday, June 16th. Is that right? Monday, June 16th? Yes. And so Monday, June 16th, another mandatory day where we hand out cap and gowns. We collect laptops. The earlier the student hands in their laptop, the easier it is for everything else. If they're not handing in their laptop, there could be things that they might not be able to do moving forward. So we highly, highly encourage students to hand in their laptops as soon as they can. This is a great day, though. We love the walkthrough at the elementary school. The last couple of years, Dr. Podesta at the elementary school has gotten all the kindergartners organized, and our seniors walk a kindergartner throughout the elementary school building. Kind of like here we have the students first coming into the district, walking through with our seniors who are leaving the district, and it's a pretty special event. They then board the bus and come back to the middle school, and they do a walkthrough of the middle school. Again, I can't say enough about how our staff throughout the district thoroughly enjoys seeing these, young adults, for maybe a final time, that they taught maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years before. So it's really special. And then they come back to the high school. There's a senior slideshow. And then Mr. Scampoli does a presentation. Generally speaking, just everybody's in tears at the end of Mr. Scampoli's presentation. In red on the schedule, you'll see that there is the NCAA athletic signing. We're still working. We have, the new athletic director, Mr. Webb, this year. So we're working with him to make sure that we craft a nice event there. But usually all the students are going to play a sport in college. We do a little signing ceremony for all of them. And then the seniors do not have to come back until Wednesday, June 18th, and that is graduation practice. Usually we do it the day before graduation, but Thursday, June 19th is Juneteenth. It is a national holiday. There is no school on June 19th. So they're going to pick up all of their graduation packets information on Wednesday, June 18th. It is mandatory that they're there. You can understand that there's a lot of things that Dr. Payne has to go over with them as far as the coordination of graduation. We actually have to practice 2 different graduations. We have to practice them, going out to be on the outfield of the baseball field, and we have to practice them going into the pack in case something was the graduation ceremony has to be moved into the pack. So there's a lot of different logistic things that we need to go over with them. So we need to make sure that they're there at 10 a.m. sharp. If they're going to be late, they're just delaying everything for everybody else, all the other seniors that are there. So we're fine with them coming in earlier. If they want to get in at 9:30, that's all good. We'll make sure we can get them into the wellness center and they can kind of chill out. And we really want to start the graduation practice at 10 o'clock. They also received their tickets. Gail, what are their tickets that they're receiving?
Okay, so they get 4 white tickets and they'll get 2 blue tickets. And the difference in the colors is because if it rains, the 4 white will be in the pack and the 2 blue will be in the cafeteria. But all 6 will be used outside.
So they'll get you access to a seat on the bleachers outside.
Anywhere, and also anyone with a lawn chair can come or stand around the sides.
Yes. So, we're going to have 3 sets of bleachers set up. Right now, we're having 2 sets of bleachers. I believe they fit about 300 people each. 2 sets of bleachers will be down like on, the baseball outfield. And 1 set of bleachers might be at the top of the hill, is the way I think we're planning it right now, but we're waiting to meet with the bleacher company to see how all of this can be set up. And then all that aside, so there's 6 tickets, which will get you access to the bleachers. Anybody can come, like Mrs. Rifache said, and anybody can set up a lawn chair, stand. There'll just be a section that's cordoned off for the field. So, they can't just go and stand next to the graduates. We'll make sure that, we kind of delineate where they can and can't go to set up. But the one thing that's nice about outside is really anybody can go. Okay. And I think that's all of our logistics. If anybody has a question they'd like to ask? Oh, okay. Rashad, go ahead. Ask your question.
Will it be handicap accessible at all?
So we actually just had a meeting today to talk about the handicap accessibility. So we have several different options when it comes to this. One, anybody that needs a wheelchair or needs to, get down to the field or the bleachers on the field, they will be able to go through the school, use the elevator in the school to get down. And we will also be able to, we would say that was probably the best way to get to the bleachers down on the field or get to a handicap accessible area down near the bleachers that will be on the field. We also have the use of, say, one of our gators or 2 of our gators where we can drive people down that might not be able to walk through the high school building or be wheeled through the building out to that area. So we are going to designate an area down on the field, for, handicap accessibility. So we're still working on all of those logistics, but we are planning for that. Anybody other questions? All right, that's nice and easy. I'm sure some questions might arise as we go through this. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to Mrs. Arifache through email, and then she can direct those questions to the people that need to answer those questions. If you have questions about prom, we definitely ask you to reach out to Mrs. Palermo or Mrs. DeSiena. Actually, what I would tell you to do to start with is have your child reach out, because it is their prom and they should be the ones that are advocating for themselves. So if they have questions, we would like them to reach out. If you have questions, try and have your child reach out to Mrs. Palermo or Mrs. DeSiena about that. And then if you have specific questions about graduation, I would say you want to reach out to Mrs. Arifice, and then we can direct those questions. And if there are questions about senior week, then I think that's something that, again, we'll direct towards Mrs. Arifice, and then she can redirect it to the people who can answer that. I'll say this, the senior breakfast, we definitely need parents to kind of come forward and take the lead in organizing all the parents for the senior breakfast. There's a lot that kind of goes into that, and we look forward to the parents doing that. It really does give them, a way to participate in senior week and in a major event that is being held for the seniors. Any parent can go to the senior breakfast. And like I said, we usually have a lot of parents that are volunteering to help set up the breakfast, cook food, all that kind of stuff, so that the seniors have a really nice, it's senior brunch, not senior breakfast. Does anybody have any questions about the senior brunch? All right. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Mello. Who do I contact to volunteer for the senior brunch?
So I think what we need is maybe a couple people that we can then use, like a couple parents that can then be used as the contact for the other parents for the senior brunch.
Okay.
So we're looking for a couple parents to kind of step up and be like, hey, I'll do this. And if you want to do it, if you could send Gail an email that, you would like to take part in organizing the senior brunch, then Gail, we can send out a Connect Ed with information to all the senior parents with that information. Then,
who's Gail?
Mrs. Arifice, she works in the main office. She's on the call.
Okay.
She's on this call.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know if you can see her. Gail, say hello.
Hi. Right here.
Hi, Gail. I'm just driving, so I shut off my camera. But thank you. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
We appreciate that.
No problem.
We know that there's usually a lot of parents that want to be involved, and we want as many parents as possible to be involved in that senior brunch. It's what really makes it special for everyone. So thank you. Any other questions? All right, so I got to say this. I mean, on behalf of the high school, we're definitely excited that students came forward, seniors came forward, and parents came forward to try and develop a plan for an outdoor graduation this year. It really was led by those groups advocating for the senior class. We're going to do everything we can to have the first graduation ever on the baseball field at Putnam Valley. We're very excited about it ourselves. We got a lot of logistics and things going on, but we're looking forward to it and really appreciate all of the help and everything that we've gotten moving forward with this. So thank you to everybody that advocated for the seniors and helped us craft an idea for an outdoor graduation. Really appreciate it. And thank you for being flexible and shifting on the fly with this Google Meet. It was recorded, and we will put it on the website for anybody that could not make it to see this. Thank you all. Have a great night.